You could be an air hostess in the 60s. You're so beautiful. Well, you could be a part-time model. And then I seal the deal. I do my moves, I do my dance moves. It's trouble too, just me and you, and 7 other dudes around you on the dance floor. I draw you near, let's get out of here. Let's get in a cab, I'll buy you a kebab. I can't believe that I'm sharing a kebab with the most beautiful girl I have ever seen with a kebab. Ooh. Well, why don't we leave? Let's go to my house. We could feel each other up on the couch. Oh no, I don't mind taking it slow. No, yeah. 'Cause you're so beautiful, like a tree or a high-class prostitute. You're so beautiful. You could be a part-time model. You probably still have to keep your normal job. Part-time model. Spending part of your time modeling and part of your time next to me. My place is usually tidier than this.
Hey guys.
We are back.
Then.
We're back. Thanks for staying with us.
Thank God.
We're back, I think.
We are
back?
Yeah, temporarily.
It's really.
This is my favorite part.
I know. This is what I want to rant about for 10 seconds. Here you go. I'm glad that I.
Well,
just good recall.
It has to be quick because we're going to Schuyler's segment, and we have a caller as
okay,
well.
good. I want to say this. I was really just. I don't know how to start, but.
While you're thinking, let's.
No, I know what it is. I'm going to refrain for now. But I was going to rant about some cases and stuff. But do you think Schuyler's going to be important? We're just going to like.
Well, that's his segment. With Schuyler is going to
segment.
give us the update on the Federalist / Libertarian / alt-right front, and I know we have a caller on the line. His name is Mike, and I think he might have some questions for Schuyler. So Schuyler, take it away.
Hello, Mike.
Very good. Are you familiar with what's been happening in Pennsylvania with the medical card holders being sought by the state police for their firearms?
No, I'm not.
It was just a story on it in the cannabis.com. Just a couple of days ago, it's been a recurring event there. And the last one, the guy showed his name and he held it up in front of the camera and had his card and so forth. But I'm not sure if he was a vet or not. But what I would like to know is that I've called before and asked how we could access the money that's being accumulated from the sale of the cards. I think the last time it was like $20 million that the state's holding. Would that be possible to set up a fund to preemptively strike at the state police if they do try to come after the people here? and or have some bulwark in place that we'd at least be able to have attorneys that could be paid for to represent the people, because when we signed this act, it said we weren't supposed to be denied our rights and laws and various things. But anyway, I just wondered if that could happen, and if it was if that Miss Nessel, has she made any proclamation as to how she would handle the state police in event that she was asked to go ahead and go after and they're going after the guns that people had before they had a card. So it isn't just that they're signing on the form and they're saying that yes, currently take the substance, but it's they're going after before they want their previous guns. So
No. Okay.
It's a
No,
hot
wait, that's
topic.
good. No. I didn't want you to cut them up. I want to. There was a lot of different good topics that were raised there.
I feel like
and I want to let Shiler answer them.
I feel like
let me frame them like this. Let me translate if I can. Number one is
No, I understood what you said.
no. The first one is very important because Michigan is not doing anything about it. There's a Second Amendment right.
That's the whole point right there.
And up until recently, the federal government had not acted on this. There's an ATF memorandum now and if there's a federal case actually, but all the states' cases that went to the Supreme Court all found in favor of the patient gun owner. Every single one of them. Michigan would have done the same. It is only from the illogical perspective of it being a Schedule I, could the prohibition of a Second Amendment ever take place, or the irrational conclusion that marijuana users are addicts and dangerous. So, one is where's the NRA? Where's the NRA? And two, and why and how could this be taking place? And where are the Federalists not screaming, going crazy?
Yeah, where are the Federalists on this?
But that's what I'm doing. That's what I am screaming about. And
So nothing's getting done from the Federalists. I just want to be clear.
Okay,
No, I mean, there's no action.
and that's very
Shiler's talking to
fair.
himself in the mirror.
Just,
What else? Go ahead.
Mike, what do you think the Federalists
I think
the Federalists should do here?
I think it's valuable to educate.
Let Shiler talk.
I'd like to know how we can access this account to better help the card holders in Michigan, and would that be something that the Federalists might be able to help us figure out? Is how, if they can access it for police work against the people, can't we access the same amount to protect the people?
Well, sir, I understand that you feel desperate because your state isn't sticking up for you relative to its federal government. And it's a political question of whether or not your state is actually doing this. And unfortunately, I don't think there's any legal mechanism that's available to you. I think it's just simply a political question, and we have to elect the right people to actually govern our state. And those who are governing our state now are not sticking up for medical marijuana rights. In the court of law, all you have are well-pleaded claims. And if you don't have well-pleaded claims that are respected by the state, that's it. And we were given an act that was told to the public that it was a confusing act, and the only thing that's come out of it is confusing opinions that have always been in favor of the state. That's what your Michigan government has done for the last 10 years to the medical marijuana experience here. And it's a political question now, and that's all we can do. There's no lawyer magic to basically fix marijuana. Trust me, I have tried.
No.
Wait
no.
just a second.
Hold on, stop.
There's another
Stop.
part. I haven't
Stop.
said anything
I
all
insist
night.
on talking. I insist.
I'm interrupting.
You're going to fight me? Good. Well, number one
Part
is...
of his question where he asked
Jesus.
about
Oh,
the
my
fund.
gosh!
There's a lot of lawyers with
Go
a
ahead,
lot
Al,
of
go say what you
opinions
say.
in the room.
He wants to know about getting money from the fund.
We're not asking... I know, I was going to address that.
Okay, you go ahead then.
Number one is, who said the money's even in the fund anymore? Were you going to say that? The money's been robbed. They took it out and created 150 new police jobs. Do you know that?
But
so they
that's
can manage.
what's coming with the MMFLA.
Well, there you go. The money's
And
gone.
thing is,
There's no money. It's gone.
That's why I suggest to you that
The argument would
the
be
whole community is going to be poorer very quickly if the state of Michigan does not start respecting the cannabis community, period.
It's a political issue.
they're never going to respect them until there is a change.
But now
That
it's
money
the
is
government
controlled.
is now. But now the government
Management?
But now the government is stripping the community of its money. It's taking the money out of the community and putting it in the pockets of those who it licenses.
No, they're not going to get.
That's what's going
the state.
on.
The state is who's going to get it.
That's what's going on.
Sure,
under the
of course.
MMFLA.
It's a
So
money-making
that's
proposition for the state. The more important question is, there's legal things that can be done to stop the conditions that are being put forth here, but it's because of the. I mean, listen, it's a Schedule 1 still.
I understand, but look what's going on in California. The price of recreational marijuana is 3 times what it cost a few months ago at a hodgepodge city, dispensary. It's 3 times more expensive now, while they are clamping down on the number of plants that you can have on per residence. It's going to turn into a right to grow for oneself. That's where this community will, go to, because they're going to take that power
of course they will.
You and in favor of just giving you, corporate
Listen,
marijuana.
if nobody's thinking that the creation of a new economic market, artificially created, can compete with an existing organic market, doesn't understand economics.
Fair.
You are going to attempt to make people buy marijuana, which is a very personal thing that has been going on for years, and people have ways that they make these decisions, and you're going to say, okay, we're here new. No one's saying there's not enough marijuana in the state of Michigan. No one's claiming there's not enough marijuana getting to the patients. But instead, what we're going to do is we're going to do what?
But that's why
1,500 plant licenses, flood the market, and
hundreds of government jobs.
Okay, there you go. I agree with that. Okay,
That's it.
The problem
But
is
this is not a productive economy.
your comment about California, though, was predictable. Of course it is. And you know what? It's going to be a long time before that adjusts. Who knows how long it's going to be? It's going to be, and as Jim said, and I was trying, it really goes down to this concept, like the idea of when will it be so that there's, like a regulated alcohol system? Because there's some black, or I call it gray, illegal market that's taking place, but it's certainly not people setting up shops and houses near the liquor store that are selling liquor out their door because they can make it cheaper and there's a market for it. It's not taking place. You know what I'm saying? So what's happening is if it gets to the point where the production of it can compete to the extent that everybody that would normally buy marijuana is going to want to buy it from that, and it's valuable, or it's makes that comfort level, they can get those people over, and it's easier and it's cheaper. But we're not even close to that.
And we're not
There's a
going
lot of
to
adjustment
be.
that's going to take place.
It's not going to happen for a long time, and it all comes down to whether or not the amount that you spend doing it for yourself and the amount of time that you put into it, whether it's worth it to you personally. And right now it's still really, really expensive, and until the market adjusts, the black market will continue to flourish.
I think if you look at the experience of the craft brewers, they had to fight for those licenses. They just didn't have them and hand them out. And the craft brewers provided us a better beer than the mass distributors have.
Yep.
Well, that's the point.
And those products are very popular right
and
now.
the MI legalized, or the legislation will provide for micro businesses. And I would even suggest this on this time scale, when the time comes, because you've got 2018, the election, assuming that this legalization passes, it's going to be implemented in a year plus. We're looking at 2020, right? 2018, November 2020. So that's just when it starts out. So however long it's going to be after that for things to start to adjust. But once the idea of the micro businesses begin, like when you start seeing that happening, we will see the beginning of a return to a competing market. You know what I mean?
And I agree.
That would be like things will be so normalized at that point where, because at that point, if you think we will have gone through the dispensary regulatory things, we will have gone through a year plus. It may not be right, but I'm saying at the time that they start doing those kind of locations, because it's not going to be, it's going to be I think it's going to be a change. It means like people are investing in their local community as a grow, and that's a completely different. It's an economic investment.
Will it be competitive? And I think the community grow style will win out.
I do too.
I really do. But the thing is, the state government right now isn't going to go for it, and it's always been my concern that it wouldn't satisfy coal, right? But now I don't have to worry about that anymore because Jeff Sessions has done away with it. And I think that surely is why I'm concerned about him moving even further towards.
What about
prosecuting
the coal? Because it's not medical.
Well, that's where this is really interesting because
Yeah,
Mike,
but the coal
Mike specifically brought up what's going on in Pennsylvania, and for our listeners who aren't aware, is basically the Pennsylvania equivalent of PAM in Michigan, which is the Prosecutors Association of Michigan, came out and said, based on federal law, you're not allowed to possess